You've lived the same day more times than you can count, haven't you? Not literally, but the patterns, the frustrations, the unexpected turns that always seem to trip you up. It feels like a glitch in the simulation, a rerun of a bad episode. But what if these duplicated days aren't random? What if they are precise reflections, almost quantum echoes, of an internal state you didn't even know you were projecting? Imagine two parallel versions of you living the exact same Tuesday. One version wakes with a familiar dread, anticipating the usual struggles, the same minor annoyances. Their reality unfolds exactly as expected. Traffic, a forgotten email, someone else getting the credit they deserved. Every detail reinforces their internal narrative. The other version, however, wakes with an undefined shift, an internal whisper of possibility, a subtle detachment from yesterday's story. Their day plays out differently, almost imperceptibly at first. The traffic clears, the email is remembered, a new opportunity appears. It feels like good luck, but it's far more fundamental. Your repeated failures were never accidents. They were echoes of an old identity still rendering. But what happens when that identity finally collapses? Next, we face the truth of the collapse lens hidden in personality. And before we dive deeper, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. These revelations aren't random, and if this video found you, it was meant to. Now let's begin. Your personality, that core sense of who you are, isn't just a collection of traits. It's a sophisticated, deeply embedded lens through which all of reality filters. Every belief, every assumption, every self-told story acts as a quantum instruction, telling the universe what to bring into focus. This lens is why two people can look at the exact same situation and see entirely different realities. One sees opportunity, the other sees insurmountable obstacles. The external world doesn't change, but their internal filter dictates what evidence it presents to validate their perspective. You felt this loop, but never named it. That nagging feeling that certain types of problems always find you, or that specific opportunities always seem to bypass you. This isn't fate, it's the precise calibration of your personal collapse lens. Always confirming your deepest, often unconscious, assumptions about yourself. These filters are not conscious choices. They were built over a lifetime, brick by brick, by every experience, every judgment, every fear you internalized. They automatically select and arrange the data of existence, crafting a reality that faithfully mirrors your inner landscape. What you thought was coincidence was actually collapse, shaped by the unseen mechanism of your self-view. But how exactly does this internal self-image manifest outwardly? Next, we explore how self-image renders the field. Your self-image isn't a static portrait in your mind. It's a dynamic, living blueprint that perpetually instructs the universe on how to arrange itself around you. Think of it as a broadcast signal, constantly emitting frequencies that call forth corresponding experiences. If your self-image is one of struggle, reality consistently delivers situations that require struggle. If it's one of scarcity, the flow of abundance seems to constrict, just out of reach. This isn't a judgment from the universe, it's a perfect, unwavering reflection. Every thought you hold about yourself, every hidden belief about your worthiness or capabilities acts like a quantum observer. It doesn't just interpret your world, it actively participates in its creation, solidifying possibilities into probabilities. It's an unconscious contract you've signed with existence. You see evidence of this everywhere, in the lives of others, and in your own repeating patterns. The person who believes they are lucky constantly encounters fortunate events. The one convinced they are always overlooked finds themselves invisible. They are not special, they are simply aligning with their deeply held self-expectations. This rendering isn't an external force acting upon you, it's an internal command issuing from you. But what happens when this self-image becomes so ingrained that it resists change? Next, we confront identity inertia and the loop lock. Identity inertia is the gravitational pull of your current self-image, its inherent resistance to deviation. Like a heavy object in motion, your identity prefers to continue along its established trajectory, even if that trajectory leads to familiar frustrations. This isn't weakness. It's a fundamental law of your internal operating system. When you attempt to shift, to embrace a new identity or manifest a different reality, this inertia kicks in. It's the invisible force that drags you back to old habits, familiar reactions, and the comforting predictability of your past self. Every time you almost break free, you feel an irresistible tug back into the known. This creates the loop lock, a perpetual cycle where your attempts to change are subtly undermined by the entrenched patterns of your existing identity. You aspire to new heights, but your old self-definition unconsciously sabotages the climb, ensuring you return to square one. It's why resolutions fail and why déjà vu becomes a constant companion. The loop lock is not a punishment. It's a precise feedback mechanism showing you exactly where your internal blueprint is most rigid. It reveals the points where your subconscious commitment to the old self is stronger than your conscious desire for the new. Your reality isn't stuck because it's fixed, it's stuck because your perception hasn't shifted outside of this powerful loop. But how do these loops remain so invisible? Next, we uncover subconscious script filters. Beneath the surface of your conscious thoughts lies a sophisticated network of subconscious script filters. These are the hidden algorithms that pre-process your reality, deciding what information gets through and how it's interpreted. They act like highly specialized bouncers at the VIP section of your perception, only allowing what aligns with your existing scripts. If your subconscious script dictates that you are unworthy of abundance, these filters will automatically discard or downplay any evidence of prosperity. They will highlight lack, amplify setbacks, and even twist neutral events into further proof of your unworthiness. You won't even realize it's happening. This explains why you can intellectualize new concepts of wealth or love, but your lived experience remains stubbornly unchanged. Your conscious mind might be open, but your subconscious filters are still running an old program. They are the true architects of your daily narrative, operating silently, invisibly, and relentlessly. These filters are not malicious. They were installed for protection, built from childhood experiences, societal conditioning, and past traumas. They are simply trying to keep you safe within the familiar, even if the familiar is limiting. They protect your identity by filtering out anything that might challenge it. You've seen the same patterns return, but do you know what was actually holding them in place? It was these silent sensors of your own making. Next, we delve into why reality projects lag behind. You've felt it, haven't you? That frustrating delay between when you declare a new intention or consciously shift your mindset, and when your external reality finally seems to catch up. This isn't a flaw in the universe. It's a phenomenon called reality project lag. Your subconscious filters, entrenched beliefs, and identity inertia aren't instantly rewritten. They possess a certain momentum, like a massive ship that takes time to change course even after the rudder has been turned. The old projections, the old energetic signatures are still broadcasting, still influencing the field. This lag is often where people give up, mistaking the delay for failure. They see their external circumstances stubbornly reflecting their old self-image and conclude that manifestation is a myth. But this lag is simply the residual effect of a reality that has been meticulously constructed by years of consistent internal programming. Changing your internal state is like pushing a new blueprint into the universal printer. But the printer is still clearing the queue of all the old blueprints you submitted, sometimes for decades. There's a processing time, a period where the new instructions are being assimilated and old ones are being gracefully phased out. Your failure wasn't proof you're weak, it was proof your old self is still rendering, creating this time delay. But how do we test this rendering in real time? Next, we introduce the mirror lock experiment. The mirror lock experiment is a direct confrontation with your subconscious script filters. For one full week, You will perform a simple, specific action that directly contradicts a long-held, negative self-belief or identity trait. It must be something small, uncomfortable, and easily repeatable. Let's say you believe you are uncreative. Your task for the week is to intentionally engage in a small, non-judgmental creative act every single day. Perhaps it's doodling for 5 minutes, or humming a new tune, or simply describing a cloud in vivid detail. No pressure for perfection, just consistent, symbolic action. The key is to observe your internal resistance. How do your filters try to stop you? Do they generate excuses, distractions, feelings of foolishness, or critical self-talk? These are the direct signals of your subconscious script trying to maintain its old programming and keep the mirror locked. Your external reality may not immediately shift during this week, but your internal experience will be a turbulent revealing. You will feel the energetic clash between your conscious intent and your subconscious counter-intent. This tension is where the old identity begins to fray, where the cracks in the mirror first appear. This is not a test of skill, it's a test of internal override, a direct challenge to the automatic programming. But what happens when we remove all conscious scripting entirely? Next, we examine the unscripted movement test. The unscripted movement test takes you beyond your intellectual mind and into the pure, uninhibited flow of your physical being. For a few minutes, find a private space, close your eyes, and simply allow your body to move without any conscious direction, without any agenda, without any self-judgment. This isn't about dancing or stretching, it's about observing. Notice the impulses or lack thereof. Does your body feel stiff, resistant, hesitant? Or does it flow freely, expressing something you hadn't realized was within you? Your body, often overlooked, is a profound barometer of your current identity script. A body held captive by a restrictive self-image will often move in accordance with that restriction. It will feel heavy, tight, or trapped, reflecting an internal blueprint of limitation. A body aligning with a more expansive identity might just begin to express a natural, effortless grace. The difficulty you experience in letting go, in allowing unscripted movement, directly correlates to the strength of your internal control mechanisms and the rigidity of your self-concept. The mind, accustomed to being in charge, will fight to impose a script even on spontaneous movement. This test bypasses the conscious filters entirely, revealing the raw, unfiltered truth of your identity's current inertia. It's a pure, physical snapshot of your inner freedom or lack thereof. But what does this struggle to simply let go tell us about the foundational paradox of shaping reality? Next, we uncover the paradox of effort. You've been taught that effort equals results, that persistent striving is the path to success. And to a point, this holds true in the linear world. But in the quantum field, when it comes to shifting your identity and collapsing a new reality, excessive effort often becomes a hindrance, feeding the paradox of effort. Think of it, when you try too hard to be powerful, you are inherently acknowledging a deeper belief that you are not powerful. When you strain to feel abundant, you reinforce the underlying conviction of scarcity. The very act of desperate striving validates the very reality you are trying to escape. True quantum shift doesn't come from forcing. It comes from a subtle internal realignment, a quiet knowing that then allows reality to reorganize around it. Effort, when applied with a frantic, desperate energy, becomes a vibrational match to lack of, to not yet, to struggle. The universe, in its perfect mirroring, responds to the energetic signature of your effort, not just the intention behind it. If your effort carries the vibration of, "I don't have this, so I must chase it," then it will continuously present you with scenarios that demand chasing. Your repeated struggles aren't always a sign of insufficient effort. Often, they're echoes of the wrong kind of effort. But how do you stop trying to force open a door you've locked from the inside? Next, we consider the symbolic exit door. The symbolic exit door is not a physical place, but a moment of profound internal declaration. It represents your conscious decision to step out of a long-standing identity, to leave behind a version of yourself that no longer serves the reality you wish to inhabit. It's a point of no return for the old self. This door has been there all along, unnoticed, obscured by the familiar wallpaper of your life. It's not about forcing change, but about recognizing the accumulated weight of an identity you've outgrown. It's the realization that staying where you are, with who you are, is becoming more painful than the uncertainty of stepping through. You don't need to know what lies on the other side. The purpose of this door is simply the act of choosing to walk away from the familiar. It's about severing the energetic ties to the narratives, beliefs, and expectations that have held your current reality in place. It's an internal ritual of release. When you symbolically step through this door, you are telling the quantum field definitively that the old observer is no longer active. You are consciously decommissioning the filters and scripts that have bound your reality. The act is quiet, but its implications are seismic. Your old self was not weak, it was a stabilizer keeping one version of reality alive. But who are you once the stabilizer is gone? Next, we initiate the observer reversal. The observer reversal is the pivotal moment when you consciously shift from being the observed subject of your reality to the active observer shaping it. For so long, you felt like a character in a play, reacting to scripts written for you. Now, you grasp the pen. This isn't about positive thinking in the simplistic sense. It's about an internal recalibration, where you recognize that your perception isn't just passive reception, it's active creation. You cease to be defined by what happens to you and instead define what happens by how you observe it. Practice seeing your current circumstances not as fixed truths, but as temporary projections from an old observer. When a familiar problem arises, instead of reacting as the person who always has this problem, step back. Observe the problem as an external phenomenon, separate from your core identity. This detachment creates crucial energetic distance. It allows you to consciously choose a new interpretive framework, a new lens through which to experience the event. This small shift in perspective is the quantum lever that begins to dismantle the old reality. Déjà vu isn't random, it's a signal that your observer is stuck on replay. But what shifts when you redirect your gaze? Next, we experience the death of the familiar self. The death of the familiar self is not a literal end, but a deep, systemic dismantling of the identity you have consciously and unconsciously maintained for so long. It is the painful, yet ultimately liberating, process of your old operating system crashing and being purged. This stage is often met with immense resistance and emotional turmoil. You might feel lost, disoriented, or as if part of you is genuinely slipping away. This is precisely what's happening. The aspects of your personality, your coping mechanisms, your self-definitions that constructed your past reality are dissolving. It can manifest as a period of profound uncertainty where old certainties crumble and new ones haven't yet formed. Relationships may shift, old interests may fade, and your sense of purpose might temporarily evaporate. This is the universe clearing the decks for a truly new composition. Embrace the void. This emptiness is not a sign of failure, it's an essential phase of quantum recreation. It's the blank canvas before the masterpiece, the quiet darkness before the dawn. The discomfort is proof that the old structures are indeed collapsing. You are not becoming nothing. You are becoming pure potential, unbound by the limitations of your former identity. But what does this profound internal restructuring truly reveal about the nature of existence? Finally, we arrive at the final reflection. Reality as a mirror. The profound truth unveiled through this journey is that reality isn't a fixed, external entity that dictates your experience. It is, in its most fundamental essence, a perfect, unwavering mirror. Every circumstance, every encounter, every synchronicity is a direct, unfiltered reflection of your deepest internal state. When you change the observer, the mirror shatters the old reflection and begins to render the new. This isn't a metaphor. It's a mechanical principle of perception. Your identity is the source code, and reality is the continuous feedback loop, always validating what you believe yourself to be. The patterns you've identified, the loops you've felt trapped in, were never imprisoning you from the outside. They were simply showing you the precise contours of your own inner world, projected outward for you to observe. Your struggle was not with external forces, but with your own unexamined internal directives. There are no external obstacles that aren't first internal misalignments. There are no unfulfilled desires that aren't first blocked by an identity that fundamentally disallows them. The power was never out there. It was always within the observer, within you. The mirror never lies. It simply shows you what you are. The moment you truly embody a new identity, reality has no choice but to adjust its reflection. Change the observer, and the mirror shatters, revealing a universe ready to render your every new truth. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.